Captain C.A. Richardson here from Flatsclass YouTube. Today, I'm going to share a tip about how to choose a spinning reel for particular scenarios that may arise in inshore fishing. Stay tuned. So let's talk a little bit about how to choose a spinning reel for a particular scenario. This is a question that I'm asked quite a bit, not only on the boat with clients, but during some of my fishing schools and a lot on social media. Overall, I would say it's personal preference most of the time, but if you're going to look for subtle differences between reels that might make one better than another, this is what you want to look for. So, if we're going to get in a situation where I think we're going to be fishing a little bit of cover or fishing for a little bit bigger fish, and I'm going to throw something out there that we all like to do here in Florida, and that's snook fish. So if I'm snook fishing a mangrove shoreline, I'm going to want to choose a reel that's a little bit more robust. One of the reels that I use quite a bit in charter fishing is the Daiwa Procyon. This is the EX300H. It's got a large arbor, as you can see, a very large arbor, and it's got a big drag disc in there, which is going to dissipate heat quite quickly. And also, these larger arbor spinning reels, they manage a little heavier super braid better than the narrower spooled, like this Shimano Strata here. So what you're going to do here is you can put 15 to 20 pound braid on this particular reel, and with this style reel, I'm going to be able to skip, because it's going to let big loops off quite easily. I'm going to be able to skip up underneath these mangroves, target these snook. I'm going to be able to torque that drag all the way down so it's really tight. And that way when I come tight on a fish, I can steer them away from trouble. And I feel like I've got a good tool with a big power handle here, the big T handle. And it's a fairly heavier, more robust reel. And I really feel like I got a better chance. And that's what would make me choose this reel. Now let me share with you why I would choose the Strata in some scenarios. So as fantastic as that setup is for snook fishing along a mangrove-lined shore, the Strata 2500 HGK is extremely good for blind casting. This is when you're wanting to cover lots of water with lighter lures, and you need a lot lighter braid. So if I'm going to use braid in the 6, 8, 10 pound class, and casting distance is a must, I'm likely going to choose this reel here, especially if I'm hammering out a small suspending twitch bait like a Mirrodine, or if I'm working a spoon. I need something that's light, doesn't wear me out, as opposed to this larger Daiwa, larger arbor spinner that's going to be maybe 3 ounces heavier than this choice. So when you choose spinning reels, you're looking for more of the technique rather than, I would say, personal preference when it comes to brand or cost or whatnot. These are comparably priced, both these reels. They're workhorse reels. They do a fantastic job. Being that this one's a little bit lighter, it's got a little bit smaller handle, not as cumbersome, and the tighter spool lets the helix of the line come off the spool toward the first stripper guide and doesn't bang up and down the blank. So I feel as if I get less issues with line twists when I'm making long cast after cast with these longer, more tapered spools than I would with a larger arbor spool. In this case, this gear ratio is a tad higher than the larger arbor spool, but in most cases, the larger arbor spool is going to pick line up quicker, and that's why it's better for fishing cover or structure. And this one would be better for open water. They have comparable drags, although I will say a larger arbor spool is going to be able to dissipate heat a lot quicker when you really start pulling on it, faster than a narrow spool would. So I hope these little inside tips of why you would choose one over another when it comes to spinning reels in certain scenarios has been helpful to you. And please come back to Flatsclass YouTube as often as you'd like. We're going to have a lot more inshore fishing tips right here to help you catch more fish. Captain C.A. Richardson, signing off.